we are ashamed to be fucking 420.
Absolutely.
You're an idiot.
We absolutely are. Okay, and I want to move on a little bit because there's one thing I do want to talk about specifically. And this is our own fault. Aw, thank you. You're so sweet, Pam. For being awesome. I love that. Thank you. So this next portion may upset you guys, and I'm sorry, but if truth doesn't make you uncomfortable, is it really the truth? American safety, the fear lever. Fear up, data down, and control up. Republicans use fear of crime to justify mass detention. Tell me I'm wrong. That is so sweet. I appreciate the message too, not just the tip, the message. She said for being awesome. She tipped us for the live and then told me it was for being awesome.
No.
Sorry. That kind of choked me up a little bit. I needed that this morning. I absolutely needed that this morning, so thank you. Not just justifying mass detention laws. Not just justifying mass detention laws. Justifying the violation of civil rights and civil liberties, because there is a difference between civil rights and civil liberties, and we can get into that if you guys want at a later date. I also do want to say, if there is a topic I have yet to cover, and it's something y'all want me to talk about, we absolutely can. I want to talk about the different stages of recovery and the different paths to recovery at some point, but that one's going to be a little bit personal, so it's going to be a little hard for me to do. Good morning, Misty. So, there is a law and order myth. Republicans say cities are lawless, that immigrants bring crime, that Democrats defund the police, but data from the FBI actually shows that violent crime has dropped since 2023. So why do they keep saying America's unsafe? Because fear gets votes. Because when people feel afraid, they look for a strong man. Trump perfected that image. The only I can fix it line. Fear gets votes. Because when people feel afraid, they look for a... I don't know why that got turned up all of a sudden. But every time he's promised safety, he's delivered chaos. Look at Charlottesville, January 6th, and a divided nation that still isn't recovering. So what safety do the Republicans offer? I want to ask you guys a question, okay? Let me do something real quick. I want to bring up a couple of pictures. Okay, guys, I want you to look at something. We're going to click on the Denver protest, okay? Okay, so we have Exhibit A, the No Kings protest in Denver this last week. Okay? This is the protest from Denver. No Kings protest, okay? Guys, analyze that picture for a minute. I want you guys to really look at it, okay? And then let's flip around and let me bring up pics of... Let's do January 6th. Okay. And then I want you guys to look at that one. We can even go this one. Let's look at this one. That was the end of it, and that's our Capitol building, right? So who do we trust? And let's do DC. Let's go DC. Okay, this is the same Capitol building. This is how we protest. This is what we do. This is how their protests look. This is what they do. This right here. So to be honest, which party are we really saying protests and causes destruction? Most No Kings protests, most Black Lives Matter protests were peaceful until an outside agitator started. I can tell you with certainty the one in Spokane was completely peaceful until the leader of the Proud Boys broke a window at the Nike store and blamed it on the protesters, which gave the cops the reason to literally come at us like no other. So which is the party of law and order? Also, didn't we... Okay, and I don't like Clinton. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm not a big Clinton fan. I think he destroyed the Democrats in a way that Republicans hadn't done in years. Okay, that's just me. But answer me this. Didn't we impeach Clinton for getting a blowjob? And now we got 34-time felons sitting in the fucking office? Who's the party of law and order? Y'all tell me that. And let's get into why. Trump's interference and misinformation. Let's talk about Trump's shadow because it's still over everything. He's in office and his misinformation empire never shut down from his first term. He still floods social media with conspiracy posts. He still pressures Republican candidates to repeat his lines or lose his endorsement. And he still insists the last election was stolen, even after dozens of Republican judges and officials say it wasn't. This is how misinformation becomes strategy. It's not about convincing everyone. It's about confusing just enough people to make them give up. It's about overwhelming you with so much doubt that you stop trusting anything, especially your vote. Because when we stop voting, he doesn't need to rig anything. We've handed him his victory. We handed it to him. Now let's talk about something that people don't talk enough about. Trump's appointments. Because who you vote for just doesn't decide the president. It decides who runs the government. During Trump's presidency, he appointed people who were loyal to him, not qualified for the job. Wait, doesn't that sound a lot like his anger at DEI? Is unqualified people getting the job based on their skin color? Okay, anybody in here tell me, isn't that his biggest issue with DEI? Is that people were unqualified and only being hired because of the color of their skin? He picked ideology over expertise, and we're still living with the fallout. Ben Carson, a retired surgeon who was put in charge of housing and urban development, with zero experience in the housing policy. Betsy DeVos, a billionaire donor who was made education secretary, despite never working in a public education setting. Rick Perry, who once said he wanted to eliminate the Department of Energy, was appointed to lead it, and didn't know it managed the nation's nuclear arsenal. Michael Flynn, who lied to the FBI, was made National Security Advisor. Jared Kushner, his son-in-law, was given international diplomatic authority with no training. These weren't public servants, they were political loyalists. And every time one of them failed, it's America that's paid the price for their failure. Pandemic mismanagement, environmental rollbacks, weakened education, and the corrosion of faith in government in itself. I have a question. How many people have faith in our current government? Anybody? There's 14 people in here. Does anybody have faith in our current government? Yep. You don't know what to feel anymore, to be honest? Cool. Because I want you guys to think about something. When we don't vote, this is what we get. Leaders chosen for loyalty, not leadership. When we don't get out there and we don't research our candidates and we don't vote, competency becomes optional, bro. And that's what we have right fucking now, is competency being optional.
That's where we don't want to be at.
Goddamn no. All right, guys, I want to talk specifically about Colorado for 2026. Who is running the narrative? Here in Colorado, the stakes are high. Senator John Hickenlooper is up for re-election, a man focused on jobs, renewable energy, and pragmatic leadership. Meanwhile, the GOP field is aligning behind Trump-style politics. Loyalty tests, culture wars, disinformation campaigns funded by national PACs. If we sit out, we don't just lose a Senate seat. We lose a firewall against the return of Trumpism. We lose local voices in Washington who fight for Colorado, not Mar-a-Lago. The real risks of not voting. When we don't vote, we hand our future to people who don't believe in science, who don't respect facts, who want government to serve corporations, not communities. I'm going to repeat that again. When we don't vote, we hand our future to the people who don't believe in science, who don't respect facts, and who want government to serve corporations, not communities. Not voting means judges who appeal or who roll back rights, climate policy written by oil lobbyists, education policy controlled by billionaires, and democracy controlled by conspiracy theorists. Who remembers Marjorie Taylor Greene being a QAnon member? I do. Lauren Boebert as well, talking about Jewish space lasers starting the California wildfires. But now she all for the Jewish people, right? Now she all for backing Israel because Trump backed Israel. But didn't you sit there and say that Jewish space lasers started the California wildfires?
That was the cause of it.
But now you all for them Jewish people now that Trump's backing Israel. But that's a whole nother topic. We'll get to it one of these days. Not voting doesn't just hurt your district. It hurts everyone who can't afford lobbyists to speak for them. Here's my call to action for you guys. Go to clerk.house.gov or congress.gov, type in your representative's name, look at how they voted on healthcare, immigration, education, and safety. When you know the truth, no meme, no tweet, no politician can trick you into silence. And remember, voting isn't just about who you like. It's about who you trust to protect democracy. Let's be honest. They want you tired. They want you cynical. They want you divided. But if we vote, if we show up, we take their power away. Because the real danger isn't Trump's tweets or fake headlines. It's the quiet moment when good people say, why bother? That's how democracies die. Not with violence, but indifference. So Colorado and the United States, 2026 is our moment. Vote like your rights depend on it. Vote like your voice matters. Because it absolutely does. Let's make this election a referendum on truth, not fear. I want y'all to stay informed, stay loud, and stay unafraid. Fact check 2026. Truth over fear. And damn it, Colorado, get out and vote. Get out and vote. Do your fucking research. Find out who these people really are. Look at their voting records. I will tell you this. I will be voting for Senator Hickenlooper. Because I've seen the progress he's made in Colorado. I've seen the programs expand. I've seen the help be there when it needs to be.
Hickenlooper helped us fucking prisoners out here.
Hickenlooper has gotten prisoner treatment under control. Even though we have for-profit prisons, he still demands that the treatment be what it needs to be, that the food be actually... Do you know how much the food in prisons have improved under Governor... I still call him Governor Hickenlooper. I'm sorry.
Senator?
But he was our governor.
Yes.
When he went out of it.
When he was at it.
Yes.
He helped
he helped our re-entry programs. Actually, I want to check something real quick. I believe the recidivism rate went down like 9.3% under Hickenlooper, but I don't want to misquote that. So, well, I don't need the computer for that. I can use my phone. Why, or not why. I know why it went down. How much did the recidivism rate go down in Colorado while Governor Hickenlooper was in office?
It was 2.9%.
He dropped the unemployment rate 5.5%. The recidivism rate went down 12.6%.
There you go. See?
12.6%. Does anybody know what recidivism is? Do I need to explain that word to people? Hey, Tiffany. Is there anyone who doesn't know what the word reviticism means? Reviticism is, okay, so when you have somebody who's convicted of a crime and they go to prison, they get out on parole, they get out on community corrections, they go to the halfway house, they go to rehab. Reviticism rate is the amount of times those prisoners re-enter the DOC system. Violations, new crimes, probation violations, how many times they re-offend and end up back inside a prison. So the reviticism rate in Colorado under Governor Hickenlooper in 2011 went down 12.9% because of the creation of the community correction support programs and the reentry programs that he made possible in Colorado.
Yep.
Do you know that in Colorado they do the utmost to set you up when you're walking out from your final end date, your fucking mandatory end of sentence, no parole, no probation, they're getting ready to throw you to the wolves in every other state.
They give you $100 and some fucking clothes and kick you out until you fucking
or a bus ticket back to wherever they arrested you from.
Wherever you got arrested and your fucking criminal fucking charges were.
Yep. Do you know that in Colorado they make sure you have your ID, your social security card, birth certificate. They help you take your driver's license test if you need to. They get you set up with community support programs such as food stamp, financial aid. They give you lists of grants you can apply for.
Yep.
They give you sober housing.
Yep.
They give you...
And if you are homeless and you do not have any ties here, they...
offer you to set... If you have family somewhere else, like if it...
No, they... So here in Colorado, if both of those are true. So yours...
You know where I'm...
If
you have family somewhere else, and they're willing to take you when you get out, they pay for your way there. Yes. They give you whatever's left in your state pay account plus
the ticket,
$250 cash, and the ticket to where you need to go. I've had a buddy of mine go all the way back to Florida. He had family down in Florida when he was released. He was end of sentence. Had no family out here, no charges out here, no nothing. His sentence was dead. And his mama called the prison and she said, I'd love for him to come home. I can't afford it. Blah, 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 blah. Social worker said, okay, hold on. All right, we purchased his ticket. We'll get him to the bus station. We'll give him some money for snacks. We're sending him home. No shit. The prison bus took him. They gave him a little debit card when he left, with all of his state pay money on it and $250 in cash from the prison DOC release fund.
And they also, if you do not have any ties here or anywhere else, they do set you up in a hotel room. And as long as if you're doing your parole correctly and doing everything, they pay for your...
Yeah, if you're good out on parole and you don't have somewhere to parole to, they will parole you to an extended stay motel, pay for it, and as long as you are following your parole instructions, they will continue to pay for it until you can find a place to live.
Yep.
I've had a dude, they paid for almost a year and a half of his motel, and he was working his ass off, just couldn't get himself anywhere because of how expensive it was to find a place in Colorado. Do you know that to move into a house in Colorado, you're roughly looking between $6,000 and $7,000?
And that's just your income.
No, that's what you're paying. That's what you're paying, because you're looking between $1,700 and $2,500 a month for a single family home anywhere in the state of Colorado, roughly. On top of that, you need to come up with your security deposit, your first month's rent, your application fees, which are anywhere from $35 to $150 here in Colorado, depending on if you're using a bougie-ass rental company to go through.
And then you have to pay...
Hickenlooper is the reason that those programs exist, Pam.
Yes.
Hickenlooper and Polis. Polis expanded so much on Hickenlooper's groundwork.
Yes and no.
He has tried. Let me rephrase
He
that. We
hasn't
do have...
done as much as I would have liked.
I would have liked to seen some more
but
rehabilitation programs.
He's right.
He's working it. But his focus has been keeping ICE out of Denver. I'm going to be honest with you. Polis has been fighting things on a federal level to protect our Hispanic community. Because there's something in most of you guys who don't live in Colorado may not know. We are a largely Hispanic state.
big.
We have a very large Hispanic population in the state of Colorado. And we also have a bunch of crazy-ass stoner white people that aren't going to let you take our friends. That fucking simple. And then we got the gangbangers who just don't like you because you wear a badge. That in itself is reason enough. So what we won't do in Colorado is play that game. We are a sanctuary state, not just a sanctuary city. Just like Washington, we are a sanctuary state. I want to talk about the fact that, does anybody know what classification being undocumented in the United States is? So you know how you have like misdemeanor, felony, municipal tickets, speeding tickets, traffic tickets, that type of shit? Do you guys know what classification being undocumented is? What type of crime or what type of classification it is in the United States?
Speeding ticket.
Actually, it's even less than that. So out of the 18 of you in here, has anyone ever crossed the street against a traffic light? Or without a crosswalk being there, without a light being there? Has anyone ever jaywalked in their life?
What if every time that you jaywalk?
Hold on, I need answers. This is an interactive question, guys. Please answer in the chat if any of you have ever jaywalked in your life.
That's like asking if anybody has fucking never speed before. Everybody.
Irene has, okay. We know A do. I would never. I have my whole life. Trixie, okay. So what if every time you jaywalked across the street, you were snatched up by masked federal agents, quote unquote, federal agents, and thrown in a detention center
With no cause.
with no due process? How would you guys feel about that?
Just stuck like Chuck with no fucking way out. Knowing that you're just there. You're done. It's a wrap.
What if every time y'all did that, about every time y'all walked across a street against a light or jaywalked, hey Bracelet, how's your trip, love? I hope good. Mad as hell. That's an understatement, Irene. You would scream about the violation of your civil liberties, correct? Do you know that jaywalking is the same classification as being undocumented in America? Let that sink in. Jaywalking is the exact same classification as being an undocumented immigrant in the United States. You can't tell me that our immigration system isn't broken. And do you know that constitutional rights? No. Sweetie, overstaying a visa and being undocumented are the same civil classification. Coming in illegally is a civil penalty. It's supposed to be. Nope. And that's now. That changed in 2024 under Trump. It's a misdemeanor. It becomes a felony only if you've been deported for criminal reasons.
Now I have a question.
Okay, so hold on. Improper entry is a misdemeanor. Entering to attempt or enter the U.S. at a place or time not designated by immigration officers is a misdemeanor. So, do you think that, let's akin that to, what type of crime would be akin to illegal immigration if you were a U.S. citizen? Okay, and how many of these people that have been rounded up by immigration have only overstayed their visa? Wasn't there a college student who overstayed his visa or something, and they arrested him? Ow. Because you looked different. Exactly. How many people aren't even immigrants being rounded up by ICE right now? The DACAs, the Dreamers. Absolutely. Absolutely. 27 years old and being deported back to a country you don't even remember and in a language you don't even speak. I'm so sorry, chicken. The fact that we allow this in our country pretty much blows my fucking mind.
Now, I have a question. So, Barack Obama.
Deported more people than any other president, correct.
Okay.
But did it humanely, yes.
Now, how...
Oh, he's here? Oh, good. Good.
How is it that he was able to deport more people correctly than Donald Trump can?
Maybe because he's not a 34-time felon. I'm just saying. Yeah, the struggle that he went through is crazy, and that is insane. Like, to me, that's insane. How is October 13th a bank holiday? Yep, they absolutely did in Chicago. You're damn right they did. They also rappelled off of a fucking helicopter onto a rooftop in Chicago and took every goddamn person in the building out. Oh, dear God. Oh, it's Columbus Day. Oh, it's, I won't be celebrating Columbus Day this year. I'll be celebrating Indigenous holiday. This is definitely not the land of the free. They did that in Massachusetts. Oh no, I know in Chicago, they zip tied or they rappelled off of a helicopter onto the roof of a Chicago apartment building and took everybody out of their homes and zip tied children, everything. All right, you guys, I do have to get going. My phone is almost dead, and I have a couple of things I need to get done today. So, I love y'all. Thank y'all for this awesome conversation. This has been one of the best conversations we've had on here. So, I gotta charge my shit, and I'll be back later. If there's a topic y'all want to discuss, inbox me. And I'll put together a presentation on it. Bye!